Sam and Mark podcast at Skeleton Studios, Cleveland, Ohio.
What's up, guys? My name is Mark.
And I'm Sam.
And we are the co-founders of Skeleton Studios. Welcome to the first ever podcast. We have not come up with the name of our podcast yet. Tune in next time, and hopefully we'll have that ready for you.
Yeah, the grand unveiling party of our title, our name.
Well, to be honest, by the time we put this out, we probably will have a title. We'll probably name it.
Yeah.
So you know what it's called. You
clicked on it. You found it.
Good job. Well, here we are. This is Mark and Sam. Let's hop right into it.
If you hear any of that noise, we are studios next to a printing press, and they're dropping this giant press every now and again. So
yeah, it sounds like a little bass kick. Well, anyways, today we're going to talk about dreams versus reality.
Yes.
And
also could be said expectations versus work.
That's right. I don't mean dreams versus reality as in a VR sense or anything like that.
Yes.
I mean dreams as in what are your goals, what are your hopes and aspirations, those kind of dreams, and what is the reality of you pursuing that?
Yeah.
I think we all have dreams. I think we are all capable of reaching them as long as we realize our limitations. Sam, do you want to touch on this for a minute?
Yeah. I mean, all we really have is our own examples of where we are and where we want to be and stuff. But I don't know. I think one of the first things to pursuing a dream is knowing what your dream is. And like you were saying, just knowing, having realistic expectations. Like, is that actually possible?
Yeah. I know you have mentioned before, growing up, you wanted to be a pro snowboarder.
Yeah.
And it was hard for you to accept the realization that, you know what, this is not in the cards for me.
Yeah, like my favorite thing in the world, my position for that, for snowboarding is not to be a pro. There's plenty of other paths I could have gone down for that road. But it was me just realizing that was a hobby, and I want to continue to be that, and it's good that it's that.
So yeah, we're gonna tell you today what it takes to make your dream more than a hobby and pursue it as a career, if that's something you are interested in, or just give you more motivation to get really good at your hobby.
Yeah.
But yeah, step number one is, realizing and recognizing your limitations. We maybe all can't be in the NBA. We maybe all can't be quarterbacks. We maybe all can't be Miss America. I know I certainly can't.
You're good looking enough. You got it.
Well,
I think you could pull off Miss America.
We'll see. It's still, I still got time. Well, one of the biggest game changers Sam and I experienced when we were starting out our business was listening to mentors relay to us how much hard work, time, and effort you need to put in to reach your goal.
Yeah, and those people have put so many hours in, and we followed and listened to hours and hours and hours of examples and audio and video, and the people who are saying that you don't have to put a lot of hard work in aren't real. That's like advertising schemes and stuff.
Yeah, I don't even know who's really telling you that, to be honest. I think it's just a kind of a misconception, a mix of people that are professional make things look easy.
Yeah.
Watch the Olympics, watch back on snowboarding, watch Shaun White rip the half pipe. He makes it look easy. It's just like, that doesn't look that hard.
The flying tomato.
You can't even get, you can have years of experience on a snowboard and you can't even get up and anywhere.
Like out to the lip of that
half pipe. Yeah, a
few 20 feet tall.
A few feet out of the pipe is terrifying.
Oh, it's so scary.
It's crazy. So
sidetrack, I get my most common lookalike is Shaun White.
Who do I look like? I actually have a few that I get a lot. I'm not going to reveal them right now. Leave a comment below. Who else does Sam look like? Because he has another big one.
Yeah.
We'll save it for next week. We'll reveal those for next week.
Yeah.
All right, but back to business. Basically, you just have to work so hard and be willing to put in a ton of time and effort. You may think you're working hard towards something, but are you really putting enough time and effort to make this hobby a career?
And sometimes understanding what that amount of time is sort of difficult to figure out. So we're breaking it down for you. That's kind of what we're going to talk about here.
So a good point of reference is it is said that it takes 10,000 hours to become a professional at something.
Who wrote that book? It was an author too. I don't know his name, but continue. I'll find it.
I'm not sure. Sam will look that up.
Yeah.
So it takes 10,000 hours to become a professional at something, roughly. So let's say you want to be a professional guitar player. You need to get in your 10,000 hours of practice before, you're going to be amazing. You're gonna be a pro.
Malcolm Gladwell. That's right. Malcolm Gladwell.
So just to break that down, it's easy to say like, yeah, I practice every week. I'm working towards that. How many hours are you putting in a week? Are you practicing 1 hour a day? Because that's only 7 hours a week. That sounds like a lot, but that's really not that much in the span of, years. And when are you going to reach that 10,000 hours? So let's say you put in 10 hours per week, every week for a year. No skipping out for the holidays or nothing.
Yeah.
You're getting in your 520 hours in 1 year.
This is at 10 hours a week, you said?
10 hours a week. You get 520 hours in 1 year. So that means it would take you 19.2 years to get your 10,000 hours. That's almost, 20 years. Very close to 20 years. That's like, wow, that's going to take a long time.
Yeah.
I want to attain this in 5 years. Can you do, is that doable? Yeah. Put in way more time per week and you're getting there a lot quicker. If you put in 30 hours a week, you're getting your 10,000 hours in 6.4 years. At 40 hours a week, you're getting there in 4.8 years.
Wow.
So you can do it in under 5 years if you're putting in 40 hours a week. Now, that's a lot of time. And, I think people will say, I don't have that kind of time.
Yeah.
Where am I going to come up with 40 hours a week? I already work a 40-hour-a-week job.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? I'm here to just smash that and say that that's just an excuse.
It is an excuse.
Let's say you work a full-time job.
Okay.
40
so
hours
40
a
hours
week.
a week, and you're working Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
Yep. Let's say you also want to sleep 8 hours a night, every night.
Which is like...
That's a lot for an adult.
No one needs to sleep more than 8 hours, I don't think.
Yeah, that's plenty. That's plenty.
Yeah.
So, let's take the sleep out right away.
Yeah.
You're left with 112 hours in a week. Take out your 40-hour job. You have 72 hours remaining after your 40-hour job and sleeping. Okay. 72 hours left.
Yeah.
Now, let's write off 4 hours a day. 4 hours a day to taking care of yourself,
Spending time with your family.
Spending time with your family, your friends, feeding yourself, going grocery shopping, driving to and from work.
Doing errands.
Whatever you got to do, errands, yeah. Obviously, some days you'll need more time than others, and you can shave off time here and there. How much time do we have left? 40 hours.
40 hours. Look at that.
That's your 40 hours there.
Yeah.
What are you people doing with your time?
You people. What are you people
You
doing?
people. And I'm not saying this as, we're so above this or anything. We were also there too. We had the same issue until we addressed this because our mentors, Casey Neistat, Devin Graham, people we were looking at back in 2015 on YouTube.
Yeah. The people who are hustling like hard.
Yeah, people were hustling hard and
saying,
saying, hey, I work 80 hours a week. Hey, I wake up early every day and I work till I'm late at night. Hey, I don't hang out with my friends very much.
Right.
You got to learn to say no. You got to learn to reassess your time, make sacrifices, and give things up.
Yeah. One quick little sidetrack here. We kind of naturally fell into this place. Mark and I were just kind of sick. I mean, we've been friends since we were 16. But after 10 years of like meeting up with your friends, and then after like 2 hours, you find yourselves like watching TV or like sitting around not really doing anything. I started to get sick of that. So we kind of like naturally found ourselves into this thing like, well, instead of using that wasted time, you could still hang out with friends. Give your friends 10 hours of that 40 hours if you want. You still got 30 hours a week you can work on stuff.
Yep.
So
and we also wrote off 4 hours a day. If you're really hardcore about your time, you can still accumulate some time to see friends and not cut into that 40 hours or whatever way you
don't
want
need
to
to
do
kick
it
it with a friend for 8 hours. You can meet up with someone for 2 hours and get everything done and caught up and go back at what you're up to.
Yeah, and you can say, hey, I have a family. I really don't have that kind of time. I'm going to use this example again. Look at Casey Neistat. He shared his schedule recently. That dude wakes up between 4 and 5 every day, gets some work done in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
He hangs out with his daughter for an hour in the morning, gets her off to school when she wakes up, has breakfast with her. Then he goes and continues to work, and then he has family time for another 4 hours. Now, that's the 4 hours I'm talking about right here. He's also getting a 5th hour in there, but that's because he sleeps less than 8 hours a day. He sleeps like 6.
Yeah.
So he's getting more time in. He's getting in, plenty of work.
Right.
And, he has a family. He has 2 children now and a wife. So,
yeah.
And he runs a business and a YouTube channel.
Yep.
I mean, people can do it. You can do it if you want it bad enough.
Yeah.
Do you want to make those sacrifices? You have to work so hard. You have to be obsessed. That's what a lot of mentors said to us as well. Mm-hmm. Is it a hobby or is it an obsession?
And just a reminder here, we're specifically talking about starting a business or becoming a master at something. What we're talking about is just to let you realize you have this extra time. You could learn guitar in the next 5 years if you took 10 hours a week and learned this. This can be applied to anything, hobby or professional.
Hey, if you want to learn guitar in the next 10 years, put in 20 hours a week. Right. You'll be there in 10 years. You'll be amazing at guitar. But you got to put in 20 hours a week every week.
Yeah.
That is a lot of time. It's like
it's crazy. If
you got to be playing more than 2 hours every day. That's a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you really are seeking out pursuing your dreams, go for it. What's holding you back? I know when it came to Sam and I, we were just so obsessed with these ideas we had and how can we make this our living?
Right.
How can this be what we do when we're working?
Right.
Because it's all I would think about when I was doing a side job.
Yep.
I'm a college dropout.
Me too.
I did get 2 associate's degrees, and I was nearing getting my associate's degree for radiology.
Yep.
I had about 1 year left. It was, a 2-year program.
Yeah.
And we started getting this going, and, it's just, I was thinking about it constantly, and
we just made some sacrifices and changed a lot of stuff around.
I didn't just quit and start this. We had started the company, and I was seeing how obsessed I was with it, and eventually I decided, you know what? I'm not going to be any better off having a full-time job. It's going to pull me away from what I'm trying to do.
Oh man, that for us personally it doesn't work. Maybe it works for some people, but that idea of like, get a solid job and then make sure you do your stuff on the side. It's just like, no way.
I mean, that's where we started.
I can't do that.
That's where we started.
Yeah, it is.
I was also a manager of a valet account, and eventually I quit that as well.
Yep.
And now, we're both down to working our side jobs.
20 hours less. 20 hours or less a week.
20 hours less a week, and we're putting in mad hours here.
Yeah.
I'd also like to address another thing about the hours. I know we've been on the hours for a while, but it's easy to think that you're getting your hours in, I'm getting my 20 hours in a week. I'm getting my 40 hours in a week.
Yeah.
Are you really, though? Like, are you just thinking that you are? We started keeping track of our hours for a couple years.
Yeah, and we don't now because we know we're covering it.
Yeah.
But we did. We literally would add up at the end of the week and then compare with each other, and it almost
we would even subtract downtime where we knew we weren't working.
Yep.
We were like, well, we went and got lunch and around for an hour today or an hour and a half, whatever.
Right.
And it's pretty hard to get 40 hours, no doubt.
It is. But when you're starting a business and you have that calendar and you look at that month and you have, 3 50-hour weeks of our stuff plus our side jobs, it starts to feel so rewarding. If
you're watching this, by the way, this is on YouTube.
Oh, we forgot to mention that. Oh,
yeah,
man, this is gonna be a video podcast on our YouTube channel and on your normal podcast places where you find podcasts.
This is an extra fun podcast to watch on YouTube though, because we're gonna be cutting to other footage that helps us describe what we're talking about. Yeah. And I'm not only talking about graphs here. We're going to be cutting to footage of us from back in the day. I know we mentioned some 2015 things. We'll get some starting days of Skeleton Stewdios 2015 back in our old attic studio. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, and in future podcasts too, we're going to film some footage of the people we bring on the podcast, so you'll have a fresh perspective of what they're up to as well, which I think will be really interesting.
Yeah. All right, to finish my thought.
Yeah, sorry.
Before the light turned off.
Yeah.
I know I got distracted by that. I was just going to say, everybody's going to get into this at their own pace. Don't expect, hey, starting next week, I'm putting in 40 hours towards my dream every week from there on out.
You're going to sit there scratching your head because you're not going to know what to do.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the expectations Sam and I had when we first started. And it literally took years building up the motivation to be the productive beasts that we are now.
Right.
I mean, it was an incorporation of exercise, time management. Not only that, but are the realms that you're spending your time worthwhile?
Right.
Is what you're doing going to give you a return on investment?
Yep. We're kind of coming out of a party stage, a young 20s party stage too, so that was interesting, switching out time.
Mm-hmm. Learning to say no to people.
Yeah.
But I'm just also, we sometimes delved into areas of business that turned out to be a waste of time, and
right, yeah. So
find your footing. And
what is the quality of the hours you're doing? Make sure you're always looking ahead. It's really easy to look back and see where you've made mistakes, but keep your head up and be looking ahead is what's coming, because I don't know, you got to be. I want to be a yes man, but I also don't want to be making stupid decisions.
Yeah,
which we've done. Everyone has.
Yeah. Got a scar on my face to prove it.
Oh, man. All right. Get us back on track here, Mark. Where are we at? We talked a lot about hours there. So hobby versus obsession. I think we went over that a bit. You got to choose what you're up to.
Yeah.
This is all about being happy, It's not... you don't need to be like Casey Neistat or some crazy, insane entrepreneur to be happy. It's just recognizing that we are living in a time in the world where we have a lot of free time, and we don't think we do because our heads are filled with a bunch of garbage, a bunch of stuff all around us, constant stimulation. So we feel busy, but in reality, especially in the United States of America, people have time in general.
We have opportunity.
Yeah.
Like never before.
Oh, man. Yeah, I can't even.
With the internet and social media, I think you can make it in a lot of different realms. We have a lot of friends that are artists that are well on their way in, their careers.
Shout out
whatever they're pursuing. But yeah, I just want to say, if you like to watch TV, for example, you can still incorporate, media into your 40 hours.
Yeah.
But make it educational, and, a good place to educate yourself is YouTube. You can look up anything you want. So let's say, for example, you are trying to learn guitar and get in your 10,000 hours. Watch tutorials, take lessons on YouTube. It's free. There's tons of stuff out there.
Yeah.
I know we spent a lot of our early time learning how to be filmmakers on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't go to film school, by the way.
Yep.
But we do have quite a bit of knowledge. Don't shoo us off as, oh, these guys are nothing, because we work with a lot of people that went to film school, and sometimes we're taking them to school.
Oh, man. That's funny. Yeah. Man, this is really exciting. I'm stoked to get this podcast rolling, man.
Yeah.
This is good stuff. Good stuff.
Something that we'll be doing at the end of the podcast on a regular basis will be answering questions.
Yes.
So we'd love for you guys to be pouring questions at us. You can add us at any of our social media accounts, leave comments on the podcast or on the YouTube video of the podcast. We're on, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter.
Yeah, we're trying on Twitter, man. There's like a disconnect with Twitter for us for some reason.
Yeah, we're trying to be
on there,
more
though.
present on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's at Skeleton Studios. That's skeleton_studios. Studios is spelled STEWDIOS.
Yep.
As in the gods of stew.
Yeah.
Dios being the Spanish word for gods. Stew being the English word for stew.
For soup. Yeah. Some stew soup.
Yep. Why is it that way? We'll maybe tell you another day.
Yeah, maybe you could figure it out.
Oh, that rhymed.
Yeah. I want to get a conversation going on this podcast. Get people talking.
Yeah.
That's what I want. That's why we're going to bring people on too. It won't just be the two of us always.
Yes. That's another thing we forgot to mention. We're going to have guests frequently on here.
Yeah, we have a lineup right now. A lineup.
And the lineup is pretty much fully of other hardworking
creatives.
And, yeah.
Or business owners or entrepreneurs and people who are trying to get it.
People who are on the grind. They're trying to get their 10,000 hours.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And along with that comes success. It's great to see small creators around you slowly growing as you do. It's motivation.
I just Googled the 10,000 hour thing, and we're gonna get dogged on. Like literally, the first 10 articles are like, why it's not real, and I don't care what you have to say about it. If you do 10,000 hours of something, you're gonna get good at it. So what?
This is just a reference.
You're gonna get good at it.
Yeah, this is just a reference point to say, are you managing your time properly?
Yeah.
Are you putting in a reasonable amount of time towards your goals?
Yeah. Exactly.
Because some people are putting in 80 hours a week.
Right.
And we're just saying, hey, put in 40, you'll get there in 5 years.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, put in 80, you're going to be a beast in 10 years. You're going to have 40,000 hours.
So one thing we haven't wrapped up on this is we said what we're talking about was our dreams versus reality, or expectations versus work. So we're saying the ender for all this is put in all that work and be patient. You got to be patient, because our expectations, especially our early expectations, were fast return for the work you're doing, because you feel like you're busting your ass, and then you feel like you're not being heard at all. But everything's compounding, and everything you put out there builds on top. It's a big snowball effect. So the patience is super important.
Your expectations should be years, several years,
years,
no matter what.
Years. I mean, Gary Vee says eat for 10 years.
Yeah.
Be poor, eat, put everything you got into it for 10 years, and work a side job. Like, do this stuff.
It's like you could come up with $1 million idea and have a sweet invention.
Yep.
Ideas are easy. Execution is everything.
Literally, man.
If you don't do anything with that idea for years, literally try to sell your invention, make the prototypes, have the molds made, whatever it may be.
Build your business, hire your employees,
sell
find
it
your
at trade
distributors,
shows.
sell it at trade shows. Spend.
I mean, watch Shark Tank for some inspiration there, because these people are very much pursuing their invention ideas, pitching them to millionaire investors, and still just getting by.
Oh yeah, and one of my favorite episodes that I can't remember. The kid had an idea and he was super into it, and they offered him like $2 million, and he was just like, I can't sell everything. Like, it was so valuable to him that he turned it down. And I was like, that is someone who's like legit cares about what they're up to, you know?
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm not going to give you creative control so I get a couple $1 million. He's like, screw that. That's great. That's real integrity, business integrity right there.
Well, I think it's time to say goodbye.
Should we do? Wait, there is no questions, but should we do a little question segment? Like maybe I'll ask you a question, you answer, and then...
Sure.
Okay.
Let's do a question each.
All right. How old are you, Mark? How old are we?
I'm 28 years old.
28. I'm 29. We're like the same age.
Yeah, we graduated together.
Yeah, and we were a little delayed on this stuff, but we're 3 years deep, and we're very excited.
Yes.
All right, your question to me.
All right. Sam, where are you from?
I was born in Mentor, Ohio. It's actually pronounced Menor if you're from there. We went to school in Menor. It's east side of Cleveland, east side suburb. So yeah, grew up in Ohio, but have been all over the world. Like traveling.
We do both love traveling.
Oh man,
we're travel buddies.
If you like traveling, subscribe to this channel because there's a lot of it, especially this year.
I'm from the same place as Sam.
Yep.
Although I was not born here. I was born in Michigan.
Oh, lost the main light, dude.
All right.
Mark was born in Michigan.
We're closing out.
Shit's hitting the fan.
Make sure you subscribe. Hit that like button. Leave a comment below. Tell us what you thought. Ask us some questions, whatever. We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Peace.
Later. Okay.
Hold up. How's my hair?
You look fine. You look good.
I look fine or I look good?